Hello again. In this video, we'll guide you through setting up your HydroWHIZ for a temperature system. From the main screen, tap the menu button. Now, navigate to Setup. You'll be prompted for the default password, which is 2020. Next, select System Type and choose Temperature. For Output Control Type, select VSD. Enter the total number of pumps in your system. For this example, we have 2 pumps, so the pump limit is 2 also. If you have a larger system, you might want to limit the number of pumps running at once and let the HydroWHIZ alternate between them. And lastly, set the duty change period. This is how long the duty pump will run before switching to the next pump. Alternating the duty ensures all pumps in the system get equivalent runtime and wear. Select the next arrow to continue. On Setup Screen 2, we configure the analog input for your temperature sensor. First, ensure Temperature Analog Enable is selected. Next, set the maximum range of the sensor. For this example, we're using a 0 to 100 degrees Celsius 4 to 20 milliamp sensor. Next is the set point, which is the target temperature the system is designed to maintain. For this example, we'll set the temperature to 80 degrees Celsius. The wake up temperature step is the allowable deviation from the set point before the duty pump starts. The standby start temperature is the additional difference from the set point at which the standby pumps will activate. For instance, if the temperature drops 5 degrees from the set point, the duty pump will start. If the temperature continues to drop another 5 degrees, then the standby pumps will start. In this case, both the wake up step and the standby start step are set to 5 degrees Celsius. The low temperature threshold triggers an alarm if the temperature falls below this value for 30 seconds, while the high temperature threshold triggers an alarm if the temperature rises above this value for 3 seconds. If you don't need the low and high temperature digital inputs in your system, you will need to deactivate these. Navigate to the parameters page, find parameter number 10.2 for the low temperature digital input and select Unassigned. Similarly, if you don't need the high temperature input, navigate to parameter 11.2 and select Unassigned. On Setup Screen 3, we configure the system functions and alarm settings on your HydroWHIZ. For temperature control, you can select either heat or cool. In this example, we will set the system to heat. The alarm, lockout and inhibit settings determine how your HydroWHIZ responds to a high or low temperature fault. Let's go through each one. Alarm triggers an alarm only and the system continues to operate as normally. Lockout triggers an alarm and shuts down the affected pump. And inhibit shuts down the pumps and triggers an alarm. All modes automatically reset once the temperature returns to normal. Next, sleep mode. This controls how the pumps go to sleep based on the system demand. The options are none, the system will not sleep, with at least 1 pump running always. Set point based. The system enters sleep mode after the configured sleep delay once the analog set point is reached and/or all digital start inputs are open. Note that the speed based is not applicable for temperature systems. Sleep delay. When using set point based sleep mode, this sets the time delay after the set point is reached before the pumps go to sleep. Select the next arrow to continue. Setup Screen 4 is where we configure the variable speed drives VSD parameters for your pumps. These settings control how the VSD responds to system demand and help ensure smooth and efficient operation. Let's go through these settings. VSD full speed temperature. This is the temperature at which all the pumps in the system ramp up to full speed. In our example, if the system reaches 30 degrees Celsius, the pumps will all ramp up to maximum speed. VSD speed at start temperature. The speed the pumps start at and ramp up from. Here we'll use, say, 30 Hz. Manual speed is the speed used when the system is in manual mode. In this example, 45 Hz. Screen 5 focuses on protecting your pumps and overall system. Pump anti-seize. This starts each pump for 5 seconds if they have not run for 7 consecutive days, ensuring that the pumps do not seize. Max run protection prevents pumps from running at maximum speed for too long. Options include disabled, alarm, pump or system. Max run fault delay sets the maximum time a pump can run at max speed before the pump will activate max fault delay. Pump cycle protection. If the system goes to sleep and then wakes up again within 5 seconds, 10 times in the space of an hour, this fault will be triggered. There are two possible responses. Alarm, the system will alarm only and continue to operate normally. And lockout, the system will raise an alarm and shut down all pumps. No flow protection. If a pump runs without flow for 30 seconds, the system will trigger a fault. It can be configured in 3 ways. Alarm, the system will raise an alarm only. Pump, this will shut down the affected pump, inhibit it and switch to another pump. And system, this will inhibit the entire system and attempt 5 automatic restarts at 60-second intervals before going into lockout. Please note that this function requires a close-on flow switch connected to the low-level alarm input. Select the next arrow. Setup screen 6 allows you to integrate with a SCADA system. For more details, refer to the HydroWHIZ SCADA setup video.